Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? In yesterday's video, we talked about Fortifier on Shuri on that new Warriors team. Now, I want to take note that at the time of this recording, the blue 2.2 Fortifier was not working right. She doesn't give out energy because she gets a minor defense, so she doesn't get defense up, so she doesn't give, I don't know. There's a bug with it, so if you're gonna go Fortifier, go 2.2. However, at the time of this video airing right now, it may have been fixed in the 6.0 patch, but who knows? It's Scopely we're talking about. So make sure to check up on that Fortifier, either 2.2 or make sure that the patch fixed this and then go 2.3. Yes, 2.3 is not working right is what chat is telling me. So 2.2 only if you want to run her as a Fortifier. We make lots of mistakes here at Defense Up, and I like to lead with the corrections. Kind of like I know that Vision gives Defense Up on spawn to other tech characters. Just sometimes I forget that and make a whole video trashing Vision. But, you know, it happens, and I apologize. You can leave comments down below and help me to remember the right things. And if you catch me, I'll be sure to put that correction with your name in the lead of the video. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I'm all over the place because I'm getting a little hangry. All right, team number 1 for Ithinkso is the Hydra 1.0. He went Fortifier across the board, decent power levels. This is a great investment in this team. I love this as a new player defense. It doesn't require a high amount of investment to be a very frustrating defense. There are campaign nodes where this team or members of it can be valuable. There are hybrid offenses that use Red Skull. There's lots of little niche things that members of this team can be used for. So I don't mind telling new players to go ahead and invest a little bit into this team. Remember, don't build for defense, build for raids first and then arena. But if you want to tinker, this is a great team to tinker on. I love the ISOs, I love the placement. Everything's going great here. There are native ISOs that you could make these guys, but the easiest thing is to just make them all Fortifier because they die and revive. Makes the team a lot tougher, in my opinion. Gonna give him an A for this team and move on to the next one. Team number 2, Fantastic Four, which is less than fantastic. We have 2 skirmishers and 2 strikers. I like who you chose for those. I like Fortifier on She-Hulk, that's fine. You could make this team war ready. I like to either go 1 ISO or 4. I don't like to stop at 3. That feels like a waste for me. It's up to you if you want to take them up that next notch. I'm gonna go ahead and give you an A for this team though. Everything you're doing just fine here. You know what? Actually, this team is getting kind of old and busted. I'd like to start downgrading it soon, but I'll give you an A for right now. But pretty soon, we're gonna have to start coming up with something better than this, guys. This is just a filler team, and filler teams are gonna get tougher grades. Okay, here we have a Weapon X team. Omega Red did not get unlocked, so we're throwing in Sinister in his place. The team without Sinister is pretty tough. We don't have LDS in here. That's a shame. LDS is a fantastic character, but you do have 3 villain mutants to pair with Strife, so he's taunting pretty early, which gives a lot of time for this guy to taunt. This is going to be a frustrating team, and if they can't get to Sinister and kill him, he could clone the wrong person and cause some things to go wrong. So, maybe you're using LDS on an offense somewhere or a hybrid defense later in your roster, I'm not sure, but this is actually pretty good. I like Raider here. You could also go Striker on Wolverine if you want, but Raider's a good one. Skirmisher's fantastic over here. I like these ISOs. There's nothing wrong with this. For a team that doesn't have certain things unlocked, I think this is actually a really good team. I like the placement. I like everything that's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an A for this. I would like to see you go ahead and build up certain members here, namely Wolverine and Sabretooth, in preparation for when you do get the full team unlocked, and then put them on offense. All right, moving on to team number 4. It's a Wave 1 Avengers. Healers on these guys, Raiders over here, Skirmisher here. This is great. Everything you're doing is just fine. You subbed in Heimdall for Black Widow, and that's a thing you should be doing if you are using Black Widow elsewhere. So I'll give you an A for that also. Team number 5 is a Doc Ock Sinister 6. I don't like wasting Doc Ock on this team. I very much like Doc Ock on hybrid teams instead. Also, if you're gonna run Doc Ock on this team, he needs to be adjacent to Rhino. In fact, Rhino needs to be in the middle somewhere, adjacent to Doc Ock for the cleanse. Who cares about his taunt? It's the cleanse you want him in there for. Get Mysterio out of here if you're running Doc Ock, because Mysterio's a liability. He just feeds more people to the speed meta teams. You should be having Green Goblin in here in his place, or better yet, Vulture, because Vulture's fast and can rewind turn meter, and then ultimately can be used on a like a villain tech team or something like that. Most important thing you should do, though, is get Doc Ock off of this team. Use him someplace else. If you want to run this team, it still does get DVs. However, I think you should probably change some of these ISOs. I like Mysterio as a striker with a few skirmishers sprinkled in on the team. But Skirmisher works. It still has synergy with what he's doing. Raider or Skirmisher is fine. Raider or Skirmisher is fine. Raider 100% over here. And of course, Healer on Doc Ock. I'm going to give you a B for this team just because, actually, I'm going to go B- for this team. I don't like Doc Ock on it, but if you're going to run Doc Ock, I definitely don't like Mysterio on it. Moving on. Team number 6, Heroes for Hire. We're moving Luke Cage off the outside because he is a liability. With that Dark Hunter team, they're going to be looking for him to put the disrupt on. So move him off the corner and move Shang-Chi off the corner. The placement for this team should be Iron Fist, then Luke Cage, then Misty Knight, then Shang-Chi, and then Colleen Wing. No, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Dang it, I tried so hard. Okay, one more time. Let's try and do this. It's going to be Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Colleen Wing, Misty Knight, Shang-Chi, then Misty Knight. Oh, forget it. You just don't want these two on the corners. And I like Colleen Wing next to Luke Cage because she retaliates when she has deflex. So if she picks up some of that splash damage, she'll retaliate. Otherwise, I love the ISOs. Everything else is just fine on this team. It's just the placement change. So I'm going to go A- for that. Team number 7 is the Mercs with Doom. Doom Mercs is a pretty nasty team. They open up pretty early with those blinds, and it can be kind of tricky. But like, I think Uncanny does well against this if you have a big enough Uncanny. Let's see here. There's that Shuri, and that's fine as a healer. Striker is good on him. Fortifier on him because he's small. Striker on him because you want him to pair up with Taskmaster. Honestly, you don't have enough Mercs on this team to really make that happen. Here's what it is. I wouldn't really make any changes, to be honest. I think the thing is that your Doom is so big, and these guys are not big enough to hold up with who's coming in to deal with Doom. So I think you should probably pull Doom off of this team or invest in the team to make it bigger. And then when you do, I think you should pull off Shuri. Well, Shuri has that energy that might go to Doom, so who knows. You're in kind of a pickle here. I think we should just invest in these Mercs to make them bigger, but the team's so old, it's tough to do that. Might just think about doing a more traditional Shuri Merc team and take Doom off of this and put him someplace else. I'm going to go with a B+ for this. You're trying, but the power levels are too wonky for this team to hold up properly. Team number 8 is a Web Warrior YA mashup. I don't like this. I don't like this because you have 2 of your Web Warriors as raiders as they should be, and then you only have 1 striker to pair up with Ms. Marvel. So I think Ms. Marvel is a bad pick. As soon as you get the other Web Warriors unlocked, I think you should start moving him in here and do other things with your YA team. Otherwise, you do have the right ISOs on everyone, technically, if they were on their separate teams. So I'm going to go with a B. I think it's not a very good team the way it functions. You either got to design this team to work as a mashup, or you need to separate this team and keep the ISOs the same. Moving on to team number 9, here we have the New Warriors with Ghost and Silver Surfer. Wait a minute. Who are we missing? We're missing Deathpool. I really like Deathpool on this team. But Ghost is good too. You got Emma changing speed and giving the cleanse with Silver Surfer. This isn't too bad, actually. I'm curious what you're using with Deathpool. I mean, Deathpool is a fantastic character, but this actually really works. Let's jump ahead to team number 10 and see if there's any tricks up the sleeve here. Oh, here we go. Deathpool with the Eternals. Okay, that's going to be interesting too. Okay, so I'm not going to dock you for taking Deathpool off here. I like this mashup. You have 3 people putting out vulnerables. That's because he's putting out vulnerables from his kit and as a skirmisher, and she's putting out vulnerables from her kit. And then you've got 3 strikers. I'd actually like to see Surfer as a raider on this team, but it's splitting hairs. I kind of like this. I think it's pretty good. The only major problem is that you've got Dagger off to the side and she's giving offense up to adjacent team members. So big doc for that. I'm going to go B+ for this team. That's very unfortunate placement right there. You need to change that. Get her next to probably Cloak and Surfer is going to be your best bet. And then put Emma off to the side and Ghost in between someplace because she's dodgy. Moving on to team number 10 with Deathpool and Chavez, speeding up Cersei. Cersei's going to go first, rewinding turn meter. Deathpool doesn't give out energy. Only in raids does she do that. So, but she is great for cleanup, right? So Cersei goes, softens him up, rewinds the turn meter, gives enough time for Icarus to take his turn and destroy everybody. Anybody left standing is going to get cleaned up by Deathpool. And then Thanos is giving out the energy to both of these two. If she gave out energy in war, it would be awesome, but she doesn't. She only does it in raids. And so you're splitting the energy from Thanos into both of these, and I don't know if that's going to play out well for you. You might consider swapping some placement around here to make sure that if this team gets a DV the first time, the second time around, Icarus will ult. So that means you might want to go Deathpool, Cersei, Chavez, Icarus, Thanos is probably going to be the better placement if you want it to work twice in a row. You could still get some value out of making it work like this also. You never know. I'm going to go ahead and give you an A- for this team because I think there is a better placement, but I think this team is pretty cool. It's a really powerful, scary defense. And then, of course, with Deathpool going early, I'm not sure why you're speeding up Deathpool. Like, her opening ult isn't that crazy unless it's all charged up, and that's really kind of a raid thing. So we'll see how that goes, but it could be pretty cool. So A- for that team. I like it. That was Ithinkso's defense. If you want your defense featured, please find links in the description. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I will catch you next time. Bye.